friends, and welcome to Practice English with Paul. Today, yet again, present simple and present continuous, but now advanced points, and I'm actually going to compare them. Now, as a teacher, when I teach tenses, I often like to compare tenses. That way you truly understand how they work. For example, I compare present perfect and past simple, or present perfect and present perfect continuous. It really actually helps. Now, I have done the same here. Before I go on to other uses of present simple and present continuous, I want to kind of show you the differences in how they work, especially with some time expressions. Let's have a look. The first one, we have present simple. We know it's present simple, it's permanent. Permanent, it happens again and again and again, like routine, like a habit. I stay with my uncle every holiday. The key here is not the tense. The key here is the time expression, every holiday, and I will show you why in a second. But because it's every holiday, that means it is habit, it's happening again and again and again. I choose present simple. Present continuous is temporary, so it happens for a short time. Or present continuous, as we know, happens around now. For example, I'm staying with my uncle this holiday. The key word here is not I'm staying. The key here is this holiday. This is my time expression. This holiday means around now, right now. Because of this, I need present continuous. So that is one of the most important features of tenses that you need to learn, my friends. Tenses, of course, have a function, but they mean very, very little without their time expressions. They go together. Just as an example, I can be teaching a student, and a student can say, I have worked very hard, and I have written many emails, and I have made many phone calls, and I have talked to many people yesterday. And I'm like, well done, well done. Oh, God. He killed it with the last word. Because yesterday doesn't work with present perfect. It's the same principle here. Your time expressions are crucial with your tenses. Okay, let's go a little bit easier. I am stupid. I really hope nobody writes down below that that's true. I am stupid. Permanent. I'm stupid forever. It's a mental condition. Bad luck. I am being stupid. The temporary present continuous state. So maybe I am being stupid for a moment, I'm drunk, or I'm dancing on a table in a cafe or something. So I am being stupid versus I am stupid. Very, very simple. Now, the phone rings. The phone is ringing. Can I say this? The phone rings. So imagine there's a sound coming from the phone telling me that a call is coming, and someone says, Paul, the phone rings. I'm like, yes, the phone rings. That's its job. Its job is to ring to tell me somebody is calling. What they want to say is, it's happening right now, around now, the phone is ringing. So at times, quite simply, we can't use it. Very, very simple. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. I write books. I read books. It's permanent. Because it's permanent, we believe that this is maybe a hobby or some kind of constant activity. If we look at the present continuous, I'm writing a book. I'm reading a book. It's temporary. It's short. Notice this. I write books. I read books. I'm writing a book. I'm reading a book. That is a key difference here, my friends. If you're going to have most of the time a plural countable, or say a countable noun in general, because it's something permanent that happens again and again and again, your noun is going to be plural. For example, I write books, I read books, I collect instruments, I write poems, for example, it will always be plural. If you said, I write a book, it doesn't work. How can a book be permanent, like your whole life? It doesn't work. That's why it needs to be plural. Again, not always. Now again, on the other side, I'm writing a book right now. I'm reading a book, one book, and then when I finished, I will start another. Finished, start another, temporary. Can I say, I'm writing books? I'm reading books. Well, grammatically, you can say this, but it's a bit strange. I'm reading 10 books. You must be a superhuman to do this. Unless you're some, like, unless you're Richard Dawkins or someone like that. I think that's clear. It does go a little bit deeper, but for comparing, I think you get the idea. Stative verbs are very simple. I will make a special video about stative verbs and the differences between some verbs like I see, I am seeing, I look, I am looking, I think, I am thinking. They're very, very simple. However, because stative verbs cannot be continuous, they can be sometimes, and I will do a video on that too. But generally, stative verbs cannot be continuous. So even if we say, I like you so much, I don't believe you, that sounds like something happening around now. And it is, but I must make it into the present simple because I can't make it continuous. Okay, I can't say, I am liking you so much, I am not believing you. It doesn't work. Again, as I said, there are times when we can use present continuous, or stative verbs present continuous, but that's something very, very specific, which I will tell you about later. Now, that was, for me, that's interesting. I really like doing this. I really like comparing tenses. It really helps me understand. I hope it helped you understand. Let's move on to some more specific uses of present simple and present continuous, okay? So my friends, here we have some examples where we can use the present simple. The first one is like telling a joke, an anecdote, or even a story. For example, a horse walks into a bar and the barman says, why the long face? Now normally if I'm reporting something, it's going to have a past element, but in stories and anecdotes, we can often use the present simple. A man goes into a shop and he asks why blah 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 blah. Very, very common. Number two, giving instructions, we use the present simple. I put butter in the pan with a hamster. I turn the heat up, I add a pigeon, I start mixing, and then I pour onto a plate, eat hot. Now that's a sick example, but it doesn't matter, it's the grammar that matters. Now, even given instructions, we have the grammar called the imperative. That's when you give orders, stand up, sit down, don't talk, don't speak. That's the present simple. Commentary, like sports commentary, if you are watching a football game, they use present simple very, very often, and I read somewhere they do this because the commentary has to be fast to keep up with the pace of the sport. It's just shorter to use the present simple, and maybe it's become a habit. So for example, Beckham runs, he shoots and he scores. England 1, Germany 50, which is typical, as much as I love our German friends. Yes, even Tin Henman hits the net, Roderick wins again, Murray flies out of Wimbledon, although he did win it recently, if I remember. So yeah, just some simple ways of using the present simple. When you are reading or you're listening to some sports commentary, listen very carefully or read very carefully and pay attention to how it's used. You will see this literally all the time. Okay, now let's move on to I think the last part now, some uses of present continuous. Okay, so here we are again. Let's have a look at present continuous with an interesting twist. Now, if something is always changing and it's long lasting, we use the present continuous. Now, we normally know that if something's permanent, like happening again and again and again and again and again. It's present simple, but here it's the same, but it's something that's always changing. Then we use the present continuous. You're getting bigger every day. You're getting taller and taller every time I see you. The universe is expanding. It's a long-lasting change, present continuous. Michael Swan, in Practical English Usage, has some very good explanations where this is concerned. And actually, you should buy that book. It's fantastic. Now, when we're telling stories, we can use the present simple and present continuous just like past simple and past continuous. You probably learnt this during your elementary or pre-intermediate days. I was walking in the park when a dog exploded. Yeah. So, for example, present continuous ing is background, and present simple is our main idea, just like the past simple is with the past continuous. For example, so, and by the way, this is very informal in spoken English. So imagine some people sitting around the table in a bar. So I open the curtains, I look out of the window, and I see a hamster, yeah? It's attacking my dog. So I shoot the little thing, and the neighbours call the police. Main idea, so I open the curtains. Then the next main idea, look. The next main idea, see. Then around this time, a hamster is attacking my dog. Next main idea, I shoot the hamster. I like hamsters, by the way, please understand, I think they're wonderful creatures. And the next main idea, the neighbours call the police. It is very, very simple, but again, very informal. You will see this in written English, in some informal literature, definitely spoken English. And my friends, that concludes the advanced points, and as you can see, it's not very advanced, it's actually very, very easy. As I said, check out Michael Swan, Michael Vince. You will find quite a lot of grammar practice on present simple and present continuous. I even suggest, if you are advanced, just to practice the basic rules again. It's something that is so important in English and that we use all the time. Get it right, make your English sound perfect, and make a difference to your life, especially where your English is concerned. Thank you very much, my friends. I am now off to do some shopping. Goodbye.